I'll be presenting on the constellation Gemini. The word Gemini is Latin for twins, and the mythology behind this constellation is that Leda had twin boys named Castor and Pollux. However, Castor's father was Tandreus, and Pollux's father was the god Zeus. And Tandreus was the king of Sparta, so he was immortal. So eventually, Castor dies, and Pollux is really upset about this because his brother just died. So he goes to his dad for help, and Zeus decides to put Castor in the sky so that his son and the son's brother can be together forever. There's some artistic drawings of what people think that the twins look like, and then the actual stars, how they connect the dots to form stick people. Gemini is a winter constellation, which means it's visible in the night sky, in our night sky, from November through April. It has a right ascension of 7.19 hours and a declination of 22.69 degrees. It's visible between latitudes of 90 and -60, which is why we can see it, and it's located in between the zodiacs Cancer and Taurus. The easiest way to find Gemini, if you're just out looking at the stars, is to look for Orion's belt. And then, so there's Orion's belt, and then perpendicular to that kind of line of stars is Betelgeuse. So then if you follow that perpendicular line, then you'll run into Gemini. And you have to look for the two bright stars that are somewhat close together, and that will be Castor and Pollux. So Gemini is a zodiac constellation. If you're born in between May 21st and June 20th, then you're a Gemini. So that means that it follows the ecliptic and that the sun, the planets, and the moon all travel through that constellation. The sun will always be inside Gemini June 20th through July 20th. And this year, Jupiter will be inside Gemini for a really long time, almost a year, starting in July. Venus will be inside the constellation for a little bit in June. And then, interestingly enough, 3 planets will be inside at the end of July and the beginning of August. Around this time of year, you can see Gemini rise in the east around 1 p.m., and then it'll cross the meridian around 9, and it sets in the west around 3 in the morning. So inside this constellation, there's Castor and Pollux, which are the 2 bright head stars. Pollux is the brighter of the 2, and it's an orange giant star. And then Castor is a blue-white double star. And then there's multiple other stars that make up the body parts of the twins. There's the M35 open star cluster, which is a relatively young and relatively close star cluster of about 200 stars. And you can easily see it with your naked eye. It's to the right of the most rightward foot. So that's where you can find the M35. There's the Eskimo Nebula and the Medusa Nebula. This is just a picture where you can see how all the stars are related and how they connect the dots. And then you can see the M35 cluster is right to the right of the foot. There's a close-up of the M35, which is about 200 stars that you can see. A close-up of Castor, which is the blue-white double star. And then the Eskimo Nebula and the Medusa Nebula. The Gemini meteor shower is an annual meteor shower that comes around every December, and its peaks around the 13th and the 14th. It's centered around the star Castor, so if you can find that, then you'll be able to see the meteor shower. And around December, it's between 30 and 45 degrees above the southeast horizon. This meteor shower, you can see about 100 meteors per hour, and that's because the moon is either in a new phase or is a crescent, so there's very minimal light interference. These meteors come from the asteroid 3200 Phaethon, which is a meteor it's an asteroid that has a really odd orbit, and it comes between 0.15 AUs of the sun. So it's argued that 3200 Phaethon is more like a comet, but nonetheless, the Gemini meteor shower comes from that, and it's centered around Castor. And those are my sources.